Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I slept in today. I didn't wake up. I never use alarms unless I have an appointment I can't miss. I would never like to miss the sunrise stroll and chat, but there's a little bit of flexibility there. And so, thanks be to God, I slept in because I needed it. So thank you for your patience with me. That palm tree there, Sorry, the Wi-Fi jumped there on me. Imagine when we're in glory and we will be radiant with light, and any sadness and depression and disappointment and frustration will be totally transformed. Like that palm tree was there, radiant in light. But that's radiant from the outside just because the light's shining on it, but in us we'll be transformed from the inside completely. The great promise of grace. The transformation of people who go from, let's say, the destruction of addictions to a completely renovated life, renewed. Like the darkness of that window being transformed. But again, that's from the outside. Imagine from the inside. Depths of our heart and our soul, from the very contact we have with God Himself. It's amazing what God sees. And there are some people who live for that, who don't mind what other people say, when other people misunderstand and misjudge and oppose. So if the lake goes down an inch or two, it exposes a lot more of the ground. You can see here, let's say at this area here, it's barely like 2 inches deep water. So all this area will become exposed, were the lake to go down another 2 or 3 inches. I remember years ago we had to go out beyond those bushes out there. More to swim. So Jesus sitting across from the treasury in the temple where people give their offerings today. And in many organizations, even beneficent organizations, even secular ones, because of the weakness of human beings, we can tend to show off and do stuff to be seen. But when a mother is cleaning a little baby after it makes a mess, preparing food for it, There's nobody around to see. She does it because she loves the baby. It might be different if she's dressing up the baby to go out to some event and she'd know everybody's going to be watching the baby. So she'd be proud if the people start making nice comments. But the normal day-to-day life at home, who sees that? Nobody. Well, maybe it's seen afterwards if there hasn't been true love in the family. But in the normal case, the parents show that love. The same at work. Doing it because it's my duty, it's what I have to do, and to do it with generosity, with responsibility, with quality, attention. Now if that's done for love of God, then it's more explicit. But we have kind of that thing inside of us which can be used for good or it can be used selfishly, which is the appreciation of others. And here this text we have today about the widow putting in her little contribution. She was doing it for God. There was nobody going to appreciate that in the crowd because she was like a nobody. Her gifts didn't count. God was looking and God was noticing. And Jesus noticed. Jesus was teaching the disciples and he said, look at that woman. She gave more than all the big people, putting in huge donations financially, but in their heart they were just looking for the praise of people around them. They were settling for that small little reward in this world. Their heart was on just ephemeral values that would pass away so easily. Because besides, most of the people would forget what they did anyway. In a short time. God doesn't forget. God remembers. God remembers every small good deed. And he is willing to forget our sins. It's amazing how God works. We work the opposite. We forget all the good deeds people do for us. We remember how they hurt us. Isn't it crazy how our mechanisms are built inside of us? If we think of some word that somebody said to us that's probably one of the most hurtful memories we have, and if we could learn to be like God and forgive that, forget it. It's gone. It's in the past. And then to turn our attention on all the things that are so good, the little details, so much kindness and goodness, so much life that people gave us, our grandparents gave us, so much kindness a neighbor did. But we tend to remember the bad things. And God notices the good things. He notices all the little flowers in our life. Every one of them. I tell you, Jesus said, she put more into that basket of offering for God than all the rich people together. Because her heart was in it. That's really amazing. And that actually should alter the way we see reality, social reality, and it should also alter the way we ourselves operate. That's the primary thing. To do our gifts for God, our little kindnesses, our little acts of forgiveness, our little words of encouragement, to do it for God, because everybody's made in the image and likeness of God, and by doing it for one of these, we do it. And that would be lastingly remembered by God. Remember what Jesus said on another occasion, whoever gives this person a cup of water because they're my disciple, they will never lose their reward. At the same time, he will forgive all our sins. What an amazing chemistry in God's heart and mind and will. What an amazing way to do things. Every little good deed will blossom amazingly in incredible beauty forever. Never underestimate the value of a small good deed done for God. And maybe that could be the message today, the little resolution we make today from this little stroll and chat from this passage of the Gospel. What little deed can you do today, a kind deed, and to put as much love for God into it as you can? One of them could be to forget some hurt you had, to really put it behind you, leave it completely in God's hands, and don't let it damage your relationship with that person anymore. Never talk about it again, never remember it again. Put it in God's hands, and if it comes back again, put it in God's hands a second time. And then to do something very good for somebody, to thank them for a little thing they did. Even if your relationship is troubled right now. Actually, that's a great way to heal a relationship. If there's a troubled relationship, and just give authentic gratitude for something good that person really did. And then say, wow, this person's beginning to like me again. You have no idea how God can transform a relationship with that little good deed. Especially when the things are bad. Like the one little match creates light in a room where it's all dark. One little good deed like that can transform relationships. Look at the story of Elijah with the widow in the first reading. It's just a brilliant example that's still impacting us 3,000 years later. Imagine how it's impacting God if it's impacting us 3,000 years later. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators.